Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horses, your sip of chaga coffee. Just a quick one. The Commitment of Traders report came out last night. I follow it fairly closely through Ted Butler. Highly recommend that site, Butler Research. Anyway, I also posted the Jenny Moonstone discussion called Grand Finale, JP Morgan's Pedo Network Operations Exposed as Silver Rigging Operations Close Shop. Check that out. Very interesting information on the higher levels up. How deep does the Epstein, Jamie Dimon story go? JP Morgan story go? How deep is it? It's extremely deep. We're talking board of directors. We're talking senior management. And Jenny's always said, hey, that's got to go at the same, that'll crash through the floor and be exposed at the same time that silver is released. So we could be very, very close to it. Again, I had a discussion with Sean on SGT report, along with Jean-Claude and Chris Marcus. Go check that out when it's posted. Hasn't posted yet. You can find him on BitChute. You can find him on Rumble, BitChute. You can find SGT anywhere but the censored channels like YouTube and Twitter and things like that. Great guy, Sean, by the way. I've been working with him for 13 years now. He was my second interview ever about the road to Ruta theory. It still stands today. I love that discussion, so go check that out. Anyway, silver price. Silver's looking strong, and gold is a little bit weaker. As I said, the gold-silver ratio, I'm not selling an ounce of silver until the gold-silver ratio, at least, I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily follow what's above ground. There's 6 billion ounces of each, according to the mainstream. So that's a 1-to-1 ratio. I'm going to sell my first silver or trade it for something else, probably in the range of 7-to-1, what it's coming out of the ground as. So there's a long way to go for the gold-silver ratio. And just in the last 7 days, it's gone from 85 down to under 80. I was screaming just the other day for you guys who follow me. If you look at the 10-year chart, very rarely does silver gold ratio stay above 80, especially like long term. You can see 80 is kind of it'll peak over it for a brief time and then fall down. So we're just fell under 80. I'm not saying it won't change back, but most likely the riggers, it doesn't feel like the riggers are going to try to pull one of these numbers, the JP Morgan spike it to 125. I mean, that to me coincides exactly with the oil at minus $40. It just screams these are fake markets. The prices are fake. So keep that in mind. All right. Well, on this fake market, luckily they provide the Commitment of Traders report it shows you exactly what happens every week. And these are cut off for Tuesday's trading. So this will change because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday were very good days for silver. But this will tell you who is it that was buying and who is it that was selling. And I was kind of surprised because, I mean, it's the commercials and the managed money people, the technical people who were all selling. Everybody was selling. For example, the short, the producer merchant short increased by, that's 11 million ounces. No, that's 6 million ounces. The swap dealer short increased by a little bit. But the big thing is the managed money. These are the big tech funds and the BlackRocks of the world. Fidelity, stuff like that. They went short 3,000 contracts, 15 million ounces, because nobody was there to sell it. And when managed money goes short, and they mainly move off technical signs, they have to cover that short really quick. I think that's what we saw Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that's probably, it went up 15 million ounces and then down. But they did dump over 5. So this is what? 5, it's so hard to figure out. 5 million ounces plus 6,500,000 ounces. 6,500,000 ounces. They dumped of their longs, and I was like, wow, it looks like everybody's either shorting or dumping. Who took all these contracts? And it's right over here. The other reportables, Ted Butler calls them the Raptors. These are smart money who, I mean, they basically went long while the managed money and the swap dealers and the commercials are all shorting or selling off their long positions. Yeah, it's pretty much the only category that really significantly added hardly anything to their long position, and it was massive. I mean, 6,000 contracts is what, 30 million ounces. 30 million ounces was added to the other category. I think Ted figures out how to break down the of the other category, how many are what he calls the Raptors, and it has to do with how many traders are in each category. Now, there's a decent amount of traders and others, and then spreads come into play. So I think it's really interesting that it took the commercials, who are the regular riggers, the managed money, who are the dumb money, to sell long contracts and increase their short contracts just to provide these long contracts to the Raptors, the smart traders. And that was 30 million. That's a huge amount of contracts being loaded up by the Raptors right now. And they tend to make money almost every time. So we'll see what happens. Clearly, they're already in the money because this is a cutoff as of Tuesday. And what has silver done since Tuesday? Let's see here. Right here. So it was cut off on the 11th, I think it was Tuesday. So, yeah, somewhere around there. And then, bang, it exploded higher. So that's the reporting cutoff, and then it explodes higher. So all the Raptors, times, let's see, up $2 since this information was put out there. So that would mean the Raptors have already made $2 per contract or per ounce of silver. So let's take a look. How many was it? Okay, 61.99 times 5,000 ounces per contract is 30,995,000 ounces times $2 per ounce equals $61 million. That's how much they made. So this one category, the other reportable longs, in 3 days made about $62 million. Why not just keep playing that game? Keep going long, and you're gonna be a hero until the CFTC comes in and shuts you down like they did with the Hunt brothers. Or the cabal comes in and takes away all your physical silver like they did with Warren Buffett. When he got rid of his silver, he didn't sell his silver because he wanted to sell his silver, trust me. He sold his silver to stay out of jail because they went after him about General Re, which was his reinsurance company that was doing this fraudulent accounting. And so Buffett said, hey, I'll make you a deal. I'll give you all this silver. You can start a silver ETF if you let me skirt and go into jail. So they just dropped the charges against Buffett. It was crazy. They had him dead to rights. So a lot of deals going on behind the scenes. Cryptos have calmed down since the non-ruling about XRP. The XRP traded on the exchanges is not a security, which means like Apple computer stock traded on exchange is not a security. But the judge said it is a security when they're selling it to the banks or institutional investors, which is kind of a problem for XRP, which is, everybody invests in XRP if they've done any homework because it's the replacement of SWIFT. That was the idea. I always laughed at that. What central banker in the world would let these three bankers that started XRP make all these billions of dollars and not control the system, but why wouldn't they just do it themselves? And of course they can, and they have been. XRP won't be used in the gold-backed currency of the BRICS nation. It was always kind of a joke, and I'll guarantee you right now at XRP, who's selling? Because people are selling now after the brief shock of, oh my God, XRP is going to go into the tens, 20s, to hundreds of dollars. That's what I've been hearing from the XRP community forever, and it didn't even get up to $1 on this news. And so it's hovering right there at 72 cents. I would expect it to continue to go down as people understand this ruling is not really a true ruling. It'll get thrown out in a blink of an eye. And I mean, I'm a long-term investor, not short-term. Long-term, I don't even see the banks being around more than a couple of years. Probably have some serious restructure this year. So why invest in a crypto platform that is designed around the banks? The bank's ability to trade money between each other. Anyway, but hey, a lot of people think it's part of the quantum financial system. And put your money where your mouth is. Go ahead, go buy all you can. I'm sticking to the sure things, if you ask me. Bitcoin, Litecoin, obviously Theta Fuel. But I think the big elephant in the room is going to be Veritasium, because in the United States, there will never be a central bank digital currency, because the United States granted the patent for that to Reggie Middleton. So yeah, you read the Reggie Middleton patent, that's what it describes, exactly what a CBDC would do. So anybody wanting to do deals with a CBDC within the United States, it's going to be banned, it's going to be outlawed, unless they did a deal with Reggie and he gave permission. Isn't that crazy? Janet Yellen coming begging to Reggie Middleton. As a matter of fact, that was in Cliff High's data, that the U.S. government comes to Reggie after the crash, after everything gets destroyed, and comes to Reggie for help. And that's why they granted him the patent, and Japan has granted him 2 patents. So, yeah, Veritasium, if you can get it, go for it. Let's see what Veri is trading at right now. I mean, if you have like $5,000, you're going to jump the price up 50%, so just be careful. $15.76. At one time, Veri traded at, what was the high? I didn't hear. $429. So keep that in mind. And Cliff's data had Veritasium eclipsing the price of Bitcoin. And the only way that could happen is if they implement it into the exchanges, like they were going to do at the Jamaican Stock Exchange. If they implement it into the exchanges, yes, you're going to see Veritasium be the most valuable crypto on the planet. So it's a lottery ticket. That's what I tell everybody. The odds of it happening are extremely low, because it would mean the old system is dead and gone. Well, I can name you 10 reasons how that's going to happen. So we'll see. Place your bets. Like I said, you want XRP, place your bet. I'm glad that you're into the cryptos, and maybe you don't understand exactly. And people say, I don't understand. I don't know, have no idea what XRP is, Bix. Okay, fine. Place your bets. Ladies and gentlemen, place your bets. And I'm not going to bet on XRP. I will bet on Veritasium. And that's a massive long shot. But the risk reward there, the reward is unfathomable. I love that word, unfathomable. So we'll see. Yeah, you can get Veritasium on Mercatox. You got to go through hoops and swap it with Ethereum or Bitcoin, and it's very thin volume. But if you do get it, put it in your own possession, and good luck. I do think they're going to come back to Reggie. I mean, what they did to Reggie was ridiculous. And they destroyed his life on purpose. Completely, the criminal SEC. Life without SEC is going to be great. And that's going to happen, by the way, I think. Interesting, the Bank of England, ghost of crisis past, warns of financial stability risks, some treasury basis trades. I've been screaming about the treasuries, the 4-year, it hit its highest, on the quarterly peak, highest in like 10 years, which is a big deal, because that's the higher the yield on the treasuries, the lower the value of the actual treasury bond. So that's why all these banks have underwater assets on their books, and they can't get rid of them, and they don't know what to do. So we're going to see, like the FDIC said in the quarterly meeting last June, second quarter banks did pretty well, even though there was the first quarter, even though there was a crisis. It's the second quarter, the reporting of the second quarter, that's going to be the ugly one, is what the head of the FDIC said. So second quarter ended on June 30th. So we're pretty much done. Everything's baked in the cake. Now it's just announcing it. And oh, by the way, that old adage that, oh, people are getting out of the little banks, regional banks, and going into the big banks, which is what I was repeating too, because everybody told us that it was actually a lie. They aren't. The big money is getting out of all banks, not just the regional banks, because there's more people leaving the big banks than there is on the regional side right now. And that has been going on since the crisis. So I think it's $600 billion has left now, the big banks, and like half or a third of that has left the small regional banks. So it was a lie, another lie. So we're not out of this crisis by any means, is what I'm trying to say. And this article on the ghost of the crisis past talks about hedge funds playing the same exact thing, the Treasury cash futures basis trade. Right here, if you look at it, it's massively, it should be short Treasury futures. And that's a big bet. Bets like that blow up really easy is what they're saying. Here it is, government security. So everybody getting out of all banks and putting it into the U.S. Treasuries because it's yielding such a high rate. But all these are going to come crashing down, go underwater, and poof. This is what happened to long-term capital management back in the 90s. Poof, gone overnight, and then there was $1 trillion bailout of that. I don't think there's enough money even in the system to bail out what's going to happen now, a collapse of the unbacked fiat monetary system. But that's my bet. Again, you don't believe me? Fine. Place your bets. If you think that the U.S. government's going to be fine and the banks are going to be fine, place your bets. Bet on XRP. Interesting, not because it means anything, these Fed meetings, but they're markers as to when the Fed is going to pivot, when the computer riggers are going to change their tune and go somewhere else. The next meeting is in 10 days, July 25th and 26th of the Fed, where they probably decide to pause or maybe raise just a little and then say they're going to pause for the September 19th and 20th. It's a massive day, massive day. Why is it a massive day? Because of this date right here, September 23rd, 2020. This is the date that was signed of the deferred prosecution agreement by J.P. Morgan and the DOJ here's some conflicting stuff. Is it the 28th or the 23rd? It looks like it might be the 28th. Or the 25th. If they signed on the 25th. Because it's 3 years to the day that they get out of the deferred prosecution agreement and can start rigging markets again in gold and silver instead of having their customer accounts do it. It's a big time. That September is going to be crazy. But we'll see what happens, right? And oh, by the way, they did violate the deferred prosecution agreement many times already. J.P. Morgan bosses hooked on WhatsApp fuel a $200 million penalty. They were, instead of using communication devices that could be tracked, they were using WhatsApp. This is after the deferred prosecution was put in place. One of many, and they deleted 47 million emails, completely against what basically that deferred prosecution agreement said you can't break the law again. And here we have 2 or 3 times they've broken the law in the last 3 years. These are... This WhatsApp thing, that was the traders of gold and silver WhatsApping each other because they didn't think the Fed could catch them. So, plenty of ways to take down the monster now. Anyway, that's what I got for you. Again, we are currently giving away the Ruta coin. Coolest coin ever made, by the way. Get yours today because they will stop. As soon as silver breaks out of $30, poof, it's over. We'll probably give away a crypto. I don't know what yet, though. All right, that's all I got for you. This is Bix. I'll talk to you later.